Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 213. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and you can catch the podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911. You can drop a follow over there. You'll get notified when we go live, so you join in the fun and conversation with us. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services that vary next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Right, Moose? Right. If you can't, oh yeah. And then last but not least, Moose, you threw me off. Wherever you're watching or listening to this, it may seem small, but if you want to help the channel out, if you drop a follow or sub wherever you are, helps the channel grow immensely. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Today we got two topics, maybe a little shorter, just some quick chatter, some TV talk, some game talk. So first, let's open up by talking about the Fallout show. So as of recording, I think the show dropped last week. Yeah. Over on Amazon Prime, 8-episode series for Fallout, or episodes for Fallout Season 1. I don't know if they're doing a Season 2. We'll see. And just want to talk quick impressions about the show, as it seems like a lot of people are really enjoying it. So decided to check it out with all the positive chatter about it. I've only watched the first episode, so don't worry, you're not going to get any spoilers or like deep plot lore in here or anything like that. Just very ground level impressions about the first episode, what was set up, what they're doing with the world building and stuff like this. And I'll admit, when I first saw that this was announced, I was like, I don't know if I'm interested into it or looking forward to it at all. My experience with Fallout, recently on stream, just beating Fallout 4 for the first time and playing that completely through, I'm like, I really enjoyed my time with Fallout 4, and previous to that, I had dipped my toes into it with Fallout 3, with New Vegas, with 4 when it did launch, played it for a little bit, then just was on to the next thing. Not that anything was bad, it's just me, next new shiny toy, and never fully completed it until recently with 4. And I really enjoyed 4, so after doing that and realizing the show was coming out, I was like, you know what, maybe I should check this out and see how good of a, representation that they do of the games. Like, we've obviously seen some other game adaptations more recently with the Halo show, which I've heard mixed reactions about. But Last of Us obviously did a fantastic job. We had the Super Mario movie from Illumination, which did very well. The Sonic movies somehow are still crushing it. I haven't watched those yet, so I can't give a fair impression there either. But, there's some video game adaptations that are actually catching fire and seem to be doing a very good job in comparison to an old topic we talked about where it's like, they kind of fumble, miss the ball. I wonder why. So I wanted to check this one out and see if they did a good job. And like I said, people have been talking positively about it, which is great. And I would definitely hop on that bandwagon with episode 1 and saying, yeah, this was pretty good. Now, obviously, it's only the first episode. So in terms of a plot, a story, a lot of character development, obviously, I'm not going to have that experience or that not inside information, but that information, of how it's going to go, how things unfold. Does it get really dramatic? What's the ride like? But for that first episode, I thought they did a really, really good job of setting up the world. And there's quite a few characters that it seems we're going to be taking this journey with, through the 8-episode arc, season. And I think they did a great job of establishing this is Lucy, your representative from the Vault. So you get to see Vault life. This is, I'm blanking on the gentleman's name. This is a person from the Brotherhood of Steel. You get to see that point of view. You get to see this ghoul character and what the wasteland is like. And it sounds like in just the first episode, you can already see the threads of how these characters are going to come together as they mention. I guess I'll talk spoilers for episode 1, but other than that, I won't know. They talk about, from the ghouls' perspective and the Brotherhood of Steel's perspective, there's this enclave, which, forgive me, because I know the enclave is terminology that's thrown out there in the Fallout games. I don't know if the Enclave is a person or if it's like a group, but it seems like there's this individual on the run from the Enclave, and the Brotherhood is hunting him down, and then the Ghoul also is like, oh, there's a reward if we can help this individual. So it seems like the paths are going to cross there, as well as an individual that was brought up with the vault situation. So with Lucy and her story, we see vault life. They're doing well actually down there. They have farms that they've developed. They have a lot of skills that they are going through, taught, learn, not listen, but they go through like weapons and self-defense and just practical skills, kind of alluding to the special, not perks, but the level up system that you kind of got at the beginning of the games, just a little bit more specified with those real world, I guess you could say, skills of, like I said, the defending themselves and farming and all that stuff. So you get to see them down there, and they're doing well, and they actually like trade with other vaults that are nearby. So the vault that they start with here is 33. I guess the vaults are all connected somehow in like an intern network. So 32, hi Moose, is a vault that they need to trade with. That's the whole setup. They set up like an arranged marriage, and then the other vault, Vault 32, is going to get like seeds because they've had a famine apparently, or a blight, I think is the word that they use, and they need those resources. So they're going to provide a male to marry Lucy, continue that, and not have the whole inbreeding thing in the vault. Try and prevent that more, or stave that off, and then they'll get the seeds and other resources in return. So that's the kind of setup for Lucy's story. And it turns out that Vault 32, while the blight did happen on the crops, it actually got overrun by raiders from the surface. So then it leads into this whole battle between 33 and 32, with the raiders coming in trying to take their resources. And they take Lucy's dad, who's like the overseer for 33. So Lucy's on this journey of like, I need to find my dad. Kind of akin to Fallout 4 with trying to find Sean. Fallout 3, technically, yeah, finding your dad. I don't think he was overseer, but they're taking the elements of those stories and implementing it here. So where we leave off Lucy in the first episode is she literally just exits the vault and she's like, all right, well, let's go looking. But with the Raiders, they had a leader, and I don't remember her name. I believe it started with an M, but her name also gets brought up by the other main characters here. I can't remember if it was the Brotherhood of Steel or if it was the Ghoul in his kind of story. But it's another one of those fabrics that will cross, and we'll see how these characters interact and intermingle. Yeah, I'm intrigued to watch more of it and see what other references that they do have. We had a few references in this first episode with blood packs, stim packs. There was a bobblehead of the Vault Boy. Everybody had their Pip Boys on in the vault itself. Trying to think if there's anything else. Obviously the Ghoul with his character. Brotherhood of Steel, duh. Which I didn't realize, like, I knew the Brotherhood of Steel are kind of assholes. I didn't realize they were so culty. And I don't know if that's just this episode. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a whole, like, not religious, but it kind of gave off vibes of that. I was like, yikes. So I'm interested to see how that character's journey goes. Like, if we'll be able to stick with him. He was not an acolyte. He was like a trainee, and now he is second in command to a knight. He's following them along. Maybe it is acolyte. No, it doesn't matter. Curious to see what his journey is like if he'll continue the Brotherhood thing, or if he'll like be like, this isn't great. We'll have to see. In terms of other Easter eggs, I've seen that like the Brahmin, the two-headed bull or cow, is in there. Seems like Lucy's eventually going to find some city. I don't think it's going to be the city that we have interacted with, as it seems the vault that she escapes from, or rather leaves, is California area, I believe is what was said. So I doubt we're going to obviously see Diamond City or anything like that. We'll have to see. The Brotherhood of Steel newbies are aspirants. Yes, thank you. Okay, so he started as that, and then he got promoted to the Knights, like second in command. So yeah, we'll have to see what other Easter eggs, I guess, are involved. So like I said, once again, 8 episodes. They're roughly an hour each, which seems to be kind of typical for these kind of shows or more recent shows. Looking forward to checking out more of it. I'm glad people are, latching on to it and that the creators did a good job with it. I don't know if anybody from Bethesda themselves was like involved in the project. Obviously, comparison to Last of Us, I know they had I'm picturing the guy, Neil Druckmann. I know he was involved, the director of the Last of Us games. I know he was involved in working side by side with the director of the TV production. So I don't know if Todd Howard or any of the Bethesda guys were involved here. But it seems like this team that did produce this, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on those studios' names. We'll just go with Amazon. I'm glad to see that they seem to have put they care about it. It's not just like, oh, well, we'll try this, and they know things about the story, or at least took the time to learn things about it so they could implement those things, try and make a good product out of it, not just go off the name value, if that makes sense, and really provide the fans of Fallout a good show here. I know Brendan, who's been on the podcast before, he was already watching it a second time through and playing Fallout 4 again himself, which, speaking of, that just speaks to the success of this series and how well it's doing. Apparently numbers in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 and even Fallout Shelter have jumped up since the series has concluded or aired, rather. A lot of people are jumping back into the game, playing it again, and enjoying just being in that world again with those characters. So that's good to see. I think there's also a next gen update finally coming to Fallout 4. So from the PS4, Xbox One era up to PS5 and Xbox Series, I think they're getting a facelift or small update so that it's runs better on those. I don't know. So yeah, we'll have to see. Looking forward to checking it out. If you guys have watched the Fallout show, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of it, what you liked, what you didn't like, which character did you resonate with the most. Yeah. Apparently Moose liked it too. He was falling asleep when we were watching it, so I don't get that. But it was a good time overall. I'm looking forward to checking it out and seeing it through.